up right there.
Should we take left or go straight?
But we have the cave with no treasure. Anyway, the first step is about 12 wooden steps, so you go down, it's very safe. After that, you're welcome to go down, but it gets a little slippery. But, you know, I have a good light here, so we'll get going there. The steps are, you know, like, you can get 4 or 5 people down at a time. So we'll start here and see what happens. You've been selected.
Oh yeah, you want to make them a little claustrophobic?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's slippery in good weather.
Let's go.
I don't know how he did it, but one has, so they would dynamite, blast, pick out the rocks.
Where's the dynamite hole?
Oh, here. I don't know if you can see it from your angle. There's another one here.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And these were, you know, the fable's a fable. I don't know how much of that is real or not. But for 30 years, this fella, his son, his wife, they had a home.
What year? What?
1850 to 1880.
Right.
It's a weirdest story. I used to tell people, they didn't believe me. They said, "Oh no, this is somebody. This was they were, no, it was a guy who spent 30 years. He was part of a clairvoyant church. They would hold meetings up here, and supposedly he'd be messaged where to turn. Turn right here. I think he should have turned left. That's real. But no, I mean it's.
It's impressive.
Have we lost these people? You think?
No. We were,
I'm joking. I don't know. That's what
It's
happened.
impressive to move all these rocks. you
Yeah,
know?
it was all by hand. It was 1850 dynamite, boom, come in, haul it out.
Yeah.
You know, they're running out of money, so they come up to charge people
Hard work.
25 cents
Oh,
to visit.
wow.
And another weird thing was, I've seen them, he issued $1 stock certificates to gain money. You buy the stock, when the treasure's found, you get your share.
Wow.
I mean, that's an actual piece of paper
Wow.
that was issued, so
Right.
it's a lot of fun. It's just amazing.
People kept faith.
Hi, it's kind of dry and flat down here. Did you want to explore with us?
Yeah, but I didn't have a light. I had a light on my flashlight that was just on my umbrella that was so.
If you want to touch the wall, that would be a good guide.
Put your hand, you'll have to clean your hands when you get home.
That's good here.
Is that the end there? No, actually it goes 120 feet, right? So it's going to go in a little bit more.
Oh wow, another stairs.
So there's rock steps here.
Yeah, no, I don't think you want to go there.
They are wet, but they're steps. Are you at the end? I'm not sure. I have to keep going a little bit.
Apparently, yeah. Or it was dug out.
Dug out. It looks like something.
I don't. This guy shows up.
Okay, 200 years later.
Yeah. So he was told in a seance dream
Yeah.
that in Lynn, on this rock, bore down, you'll find a buried pirate treasure. 2 things he wanted to do. He wanted to prove that his religion was right. He could contact the dead, and 2, that he'd be rich from a pirate treasure.
And he get all his family into the project.
Yep. There's pictures. There's illustrations, photos. He's got a big hat, long beard.
What is his name?
Hiram.
Hiram.
Hiram. Last name Marble. Make sure you don't leave without taking a brochure that we had printed up. And the Lynn Woods was begun in 1880.
Okay.
You know, the core, it started with, say 5 people. They said, living in the city, people never get out, they never enjoy nature. Let's start the public forest. So they either bought land or donated land, and then over the next 50, 80 years, it expanded to, the reservoirs are here now.
That's,
It just,
that's the best they do. Otherwise, you will find now a lot of like big buildings and houses here.
yeah, exactly.
And,
Steps inside the dome.
Oh, wow.
It goes 300 steps with no AC.
Very interesting. It's kind of like you see things that you think you would know before. Yeah.
Back to the parking area.
It's not,
And-
it's not all the way back. This
Oh,
will
okay.
just reconnect to this
Okay,
road.
sorry. Two different options for a return route back to the parking lot. One is directly the way we came, which is the sort of wider trail sloping. And Sid has offered to take anyone who's interested on an alternative partial route back to the road. So that just gives a different set of scenery. So whoever wants to, divide up and conquer.
Which one's shorter?
They're this, the way we came is shorter,
Just
but
runs
not a
parallel
lot of
with it.
difference. Hi.
Hi.
So what we're trying to do is permanently protect it so that
Yes.
it can never be built on. No one can ever take a piece of it and make
Yes.
it into housing or take it for some other reason. So there's a lot of work being done to define the boundaries and of the park and make sure that it's documented that it belongs to the city of Lynn and nobody else, and it should be permanently protected.
So for right now, who owns the place?
So the city owns it, but a lot of times because they don't have the money to enforce the borders or people don't even know where the borders are, a lot of
Try
people,
to take advantage of it.
or it might be innocent. They might have lived next to it for 40 years and have always had their vegetable garden on property that really belongs to the city,
Yeah.
but no one ever checked.
So,
So
your group jobs
Yes.
to take care of the border, not here. Like for example, in the middle of the wood, it's like for sure it's like for the city of Lynn. It is owned by the city of Lynn.
True, and it
Why
is.
you want to protect the borders?
Well, we want to protect the whole thing, and just in order to protect it, you have to define what it is, and that
Okay.
means that you have to have a sense of what part of it does the city own and what part is private. So defining the borders establishes the goal,
Exactly.
and then it's very clear to everybody then who owns what.
Okay.
Right.
Have you like any people giving you a hard time of doing that?
I don't think so. I think it's a matter of just it's so big and it abuts so many properties.
Oh, so different
it-
properties, different name, different.
Exactly.
You have to put them all together.
Every single one is different,
That's
and
the
there's
hard
so
part.
many. It's taken 2 years so far.
So how about the places between the parts that you mentioned?
Well, so inside, it's very clear that the city owns it. It's at the edges where it's less clear,
Okay.
and that's why it's taking up so much longer. But inside, obviously, the city is responsible for taking care and maintaining all of the trails, all of the facilities. You know, there's a couple of buildings.
Nice. That's nice. Is this place a historic place or just like wood and you need to try to protect it?
Well, it's It has a lot of history.
It's a lot of
I
history.
think it has the history of early conservation and environmentalism behind it.
Okay.
Somebody many, many years ago recognized that this was a fantastic resource with water supply land and a lot of value for recreation and for the environment. And somebody had the foresight to put it aside. And the city also cooperated and also now owns it. But
The city owns it, but you're trying to make it like the state owns it, or
Well,
not? Nobody owns it, so no one can
the
touch
city
it.
can still own it, but what we're hoping for is that it can be forever protected. So it's documented that
So
as a conservation restriction, it's set aside so that no building can ever happen here. Because the reality
So-
is
yeah,
anything can happen. So what has to happen for any land to be protected, the municipality itself has to want it protected,
Okay.
and they would agree and sign off on it. But then the state of Massachusetts has to do that also.
okay.
And
So,
so at some point, once all of this paperwork is complete, it will be submitted to the state for review and approval. And hopefully at that point, everything will be all buttoned up and all parties will agree, and this land will be permanently set aside forever,
okay. So,
protected forever.
so how long you have been doing that?
A couple years now, 3
Couple
years.
years. Wow. How long you think it will take?
I hope not
To
much
finish.
longer.
No more than 3 years.
Well, I think at this point it's up to the state of Massachusetts. It's in the
Okay.
legislature to permanently protect it. But in order for them to do that, all of these little details have to be established and taken care of. So it's in process, and that's a good thing. I think the
So
city very
yeah.
much wants to do this. It just is time consuming.
Okay, the time.
work.
And you give all the paperwork to the state.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So you have to hear back from the state, or like
No,
there's just
yeah.
process, like
It's-
small steps.
I think it's small steps happening all the time. I think there's a will to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely a hope that it can get done soon. But again, there's not a lot of resources, so it's taking a long time. It's slow process. But we're in the forever business, so we don't care how long it takes as
yes,
long as it happens.
you're not gonna go anywhere else.
Right.
We need this work
Right.
done.
Exactly.
And thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Yes.
have here.
Jim Kamal, and I'm with the Land Acquisition and Protection Program of the Department of Conservation and Recreation for the Commonwealth of Mass. And
Okay.
we are working with Greenbelt and the City of Lynn to permanently protect the Lynn Woods through a new conservation restriction.
So, sir, how long do you think, because you work with the state, how long do you think it will take to finish everything?
I think we're looking at within the next year, 18 months.
I think it's just.
Well, it is jurisdictional to the Conservation Commission. So that is a whole different thing. Right. Right. Well, and it is indeed protected. I mean, there's an edge. One side is definitely jurisdictional wetlands. The other side is definitely private property.
There we go. All over GIS?
Mass GIS,
Mass
all of
GIS,
it.
oh, yeah, okay, got
Yeah,
it right
and it's a great website because it gives you maps.
there. Okay, great.
Yeah.